Michigan Out of Doors Online is brought to you in part by
Metalloid Firearms and Sports, utilizing botanical technologies to develop an advanced high-performance line of environmentally friendly firearm maintenance products that will not only clean and protect your firearms, but also your leather and wood components. Find out more at metalloidfirearmsproducts.com. And by Mr. Muskie Charters, offering full-service guided fishing trips for walleye, muskie, bass, and sturgeon on Lake St. Clair and the Detroit and St. Clair rivers. Booking information is online at mrmuskiecharters.com.
Hey everyone, welcome to Michigan Out of Doors. I'm Jenny Olson and we've got a great show for you this week. I'll stop in and talk with a gun shop owner about a brand new bolt action rifle that folks can use here in the southern part of the state for deer hunting. We're pretty excited about that, but before we get to that, Jimmy and Jordan have some other fun in store for us.
Well, that's right, Jenny. Lots more on this week's show. We're actually going to kick things off above the bridge. Our own Jordan Brown was recently up there doing a story on casting for muskies. You won't want to miss that. We're also going to take a look at some of the deer hunts that he's been on of late. And I'm going to take you to an event in Lansing that was really kind of aimed at getting more awareness around the world of hunting and its economic impact here in the great state of Michigan. Lots of good stuff on this week's program. You stay tuned. I'm Jimmy Gretzinger. It's time for Michigan Out of Doors.
From the first spring rains to the soft summer breeze, dancing on the pine forest floor, the autumn colors catch your eyes. Here come the crystal winter skies. It's Michigan, Michigan out of doors. Someday our children all will see this is their finest legacy, the wonder and the love of Michigan. As the wind comes whispering through the trees, the sweet smell of nature's in the air. From the Great Lakes to the quiet stream, shining like a sportsman's dream, it's a love of Michigan we all share.
Michigan Out of Doors is presented by Country Smokehouse, offering a variety of meat products. Country Smokehouse is located 3 miles south of I-69 on M53, just south of Imlay City. Country Smokehouse is a meat processor, a butcher, and a destination for sportsmen. By KL Outdoor, a Muskegon manufacturer of sportsmen's outdoor products for over 30 years, featuring the Terrain line of hard-sided hunting blinds designed for quick setup and removal with quiet operation. For more information on other products, kloutdoor.com. By G5 Outdoors, makers of the Quest and Prime bows. Manufactured and designed in Memphis, Michigan, G5 offers archery bows, broadheads, and accessories. On the web at g5outdoors.com. By Meyer, a destination for hunting, fishing, and camping supplies, offering hunting apparel and accessories as well as hunting and fishing licenses. Meyer has nearly everything you need to take on nature and get you there.
Hi, I'm Jordan Brown, and we kick off this week's show in the western end of the UP, where I was able to tag along with a couple of guys fishing for muskie.
On a river in the UP, fishing for muskie today. I'm going to throw a couple different kinds of tackle. We're going to throw gear, mostly spinners and stick baits, and we're also going to throw some big streamers with fly rod.
Today we're going to float for about 6-7 hours. We're going to cover a lot of water. For the most part, we're going to focus on slower, deeper water. That's where we're going to expect to find the fish. They often do tuck up into the shallows this time of year though. They're just waiting to ambush anything. The forage is probably a little different this time of year. We don't have as many of the pike and smallmouth that you'll find in the summer, but there are smallmouth and walleye present too, so we might see some of them. This is a really unique fishery. It's not well used. In this area, there's actually a lot of rivers and lakes that have muskie in them, so guys are pretty well spread out. And a lot of the best muskie fishing takes place during deer season. You know, you got grouse, duck going on right now. So we're probably not going to see anyone today.
Well, we certainly did have the river all to ourselves. Today the guys were using different fishing methods, but a similar presentation.
What I'm going to fish today is large sucker patterns and large perch patterns. These are articulated and they're tied with heavy wire. So I got 40-pound wire in between here, another foot-long section of 40-pound wire again, and then we're putting anywhere from 30 to 50 pound fluorocarbon or a heavy mono.
Yeah, Nick was running a fly rod. I run a basic spinning rod, pretty much the same style of rod that you're going to be using for fishing for big king salmon or big steelhead in the area. You can use the same setup here for muskies. Anything that's 20 pound to up to 80 pound braid will be your main line, and then we usually just tie a steel leader and we'll fish big spinners, big stick baits, cranks, large jigs, and we'll work the deep water for them.
Then, nice work. All right. 31.
Look out, dog. I mean, there's pliers there. Nice muskie.
Right on the bank, huh?
Oh yeah, right on there.
Oh, coming off.
Not a bad one. Well, we're throwing into the shore here off an old down tree, and wasn't very deep, but the minute it hit the water, exploded on her. Beautiful fish. About a 30-inch muskie. Let's see some more.
Having landed one muskie, the pressure was off. We had boated the fish of 1,000 casts in just a few hours and still had plenty of good water ahead.
Nice little guy. Gone. He's ready. Ah, man, muskie is just, it's one of the most exciting fish to catch. The strikes are explosive. They come out of nowhere. They put up a relatively good fight. These fish are mean. They're the apex predator of the water. So they'll come out of nowhere, slam your bait, and it's just exciting. You know, you could go, 10 to 100 casts without getting a bite, and then all of a sudden a big wake behind your lure, and boom, you get a nice big one. So it's a lot different from bass and walleye, where you're really working the same waters and you're getting the same kind of strikes. Muskie are flying out of nowhere. A lot of times they'll T-bone your baits from the side or try to suck them down head first, and they just come out of nowhere, and it's a really exciting. You're in shallow water. Most of the time you'll be able to see the fish before it hits your lure, and that's just gets your heart racing, and it's absolutely fun.
Oh, nice, Steve.
Nice, boys. All right, Nicky.
All right.
Nice fish, bud.
Ooh, it's a little heavier than the other one. Oh, God.
Let me grab the tools.
Yeah, that one wasn't coming off. Pretty shallow again, huh?
Yeah, real shallow. Right in there, too, and it was quite a bit off the shore. It followed me and just kind of cranked. It was coming straight downstream at it. Oh, man, did he inhale that?
Yeah.
Just a giant. Oh, yeah. Nice big muskie there. Took the Jake's bait just off the shoreline. Bleeding a little bit, so we're going to get her right back in the water. Nice about high 30s. Nice thick fish. This is a floating bait. This bait's designed to go about 2 to 4 feet deep. And what you want to do is you want to get it right on the shoreline and rip it towards those deep holes. Those fish will be sitting shallow on the edge of the deep runs, and that one just came straight from downstream and T-boned it from the side. I mean, you can see the teeth marks right up near the head. They hit it right from the side, and good lure if you want to fish some real shallow water for some big fish. Almost popped her right off.
Well, we ended the day having landed 2 muskies, and even though we were all hoping to get one on the fly rod, it's hard to complain when you get the chance to float down a beautiful UP river in mid-October. Special thanks to Nick and Steve for a great day on the water.
Throughout the month of October, I was able to spend a lot of time in the bow stand, but unfortunately, we have yet to get a good bow kill on camera. I did, however, have the unique opportunity a couple of weeks ago to take part in this year's Independence Hunt.
The Independence Hunt is a 4-day firearm deer hunt, usually held in mid-October, designed to get disabled veterans into the deer woods. For this year's hunt, I would be at the Bellevue Conservation Club, where they have been hosting this event for more than a decade.
This started, I believe that this is our 11th year. This year we have 7 hunters this morning. I'm not sure what we're going to have this afternoon. Started through the National Wild Turkey Federation, undertaking an effort to get handicapped sportsmen out in the field to deer hunt. They also take them on duck hunts, fishing, that sort of thing. So about 11 years ago, we decided that I brought it to the members of the club to see if we could open up the club to host a hunt, as the club had never been hunted legally before, and the membership agreed to it, and it's just taken off and grown from there. We set it up just to give the handicap hunters an opportunity to get back out into the field. A lot of them had not been able to do that for a number of years for obvious reasons, and that was the impetus behind it, and the club members have been great, coming out, building blinds, clearing trails and that sort of thing, and it's been a tremendous experience. And the club members that are here today, several of them have been here from the very beginning, and it takes a phone call to get somebody to come out, and they're hooked. They want to do it. They love the opportunity to interact and to help the people out.
We're at the Bellevue Conservation Club hunt. They put it on every year. I think around the same time, 16th, 17th of October. It's always a good hunt. They have a great program, great people that do it, and it's just fun. You get beautiful country when you come out here. Good people. One of our we just heard a gunshot just off to our right and behind us a little bit. We think it's probably coming from Jim's hunt that he was at. We'll know in a second what he got.
Hopefully he pushes some our way.
Hopefully he'll push something this way. We're watching that area. But if it's Jim, if there's one deer, it's down.
Not long after we heard the other shot, Floyd noticed a nice buck working his way into range. However, we just couldn't get the camera and the hunter on the buck at the same time. After the morning's hunt, we headed to the blind where we had heard the shot earlier that morning.
Hey, this is the first buck that was shot at this morning, a little different area. Long time hunter out here, it's always successful, Jim, and he shot a buck, and we're on the blood trail now. Just got back here about 10 o'clock and picked up blood trail. Looks pretty good. He don't usually miss, so we'll follow it here, and I think he's seen the deer go down, so hopefully it's not too far up here.
A short track job led us right to Jim's buck, a nice spike that dressed out at 170 pounds and would later be aged at 2.5 years old.
This buck came in over there, went behind the leaves, tried grunting at it, wouldn't stop, so I just shot it while I was walking.
Well, it looks like you did a trick.
It ran, 70 yards and fell? Good day.
After getting Jim's buck back to camp, I was able to talk with Dave Neeson, a former participant of this hunt and someone who has been very influential in helping to get more hunters involved in this weekend.
Well, the way the hunt is set up with the early season like this, people in wheelchairs really can't handle the real cold weather, let alone if we get snow, it's really tough. So having people that'll be dedicated enough to give of their time to help us get out into the giggly weeds, it's appreciated beyond what I can say. They take care of the deer for us, put on a good food. They're more than willing to help in any way possible. I've brought my granddaughter out here before, and she's hunted with me, and it's all about the experience, and it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. It is not about the kill, it's all about the opportunity. And years ago, I would come out here every year, but it was my job to be able to get enough people to where I couldn't come in every year. And it's about sharing the experience, and that is why I do what I do. You couldn't ask for more on a hunt like this. I am really proud of everybody involved.
It's always refreshing to see outdoors men and women going above and beyond to help others enjoy our natural resources. Special thanks to the Bellevue Conservation Club and to all the organizations around the state that participate in this hunt.
A couple of years ago here in Michigan, some of our rules changed for deer hunting. What used to be called the shotgun zone is now called the limited firearm deer zone. Now with those changes, certain calibers of pistols and rifles in straight wall cartridges are available to be used now legally here in the southern part of the state for deer hunting. There is a brand new bolt action rifle that's being produced that's available for the first time, and Michigan hunters are very excited about it this fall. So we thought we'd stop in with Randy Brown to find out more.
Randy Brown is the owner of Randy's Hunting Center here in Bad Axe. You might remember last year on the firearm deer opener, I hunted with Randy here in the Thumb. At that time, he was using a custom-made rifle with 450 Bushmaster ammo. Last week, Randy said there are some new and exciting changes happening for that caliber.
Well, Randy, what do we got going here today?
Well, this is all about the 450 Bushmaster today, which is a cartridge that is now legal for hunting in the lower limited firearm season, which is used to be Zone 3. And we used one of those guns last year in our blind when you and I hunted together. And at that point, that was the only bolt action you could buy was from Ed Bowman down at Bowman Arms. Built them off of a Remington 700 action. We had terrific luck, sold quite a few of those last year, and they shoot really well, but they were a little bit on the pricey side, so we went to Ruger and we had them make us a custom gun. It's actually a Ruger American, which is a bolt action rifle in 450 Bushmaster right from the factory. Up until now, we either had to convert one like Bowman Arms did, or we could have a barrel like this made up for a Thompson Center Encore, which we've had quite a few of those made up. The only factory gun that's ever been made for it is made by Bushmaster, who invented the actual cartridge about 10 years ago, and it fits inside of an AR-15 platform. So if you've got a 5.56 AR-15, the same lower receiver works fine to put a 450 Bushmaster upper on that gun. But then you're out deer hunting with a gun like this, and it's quite pricey. You get into 4 digits quite quickly doing that. So we had this built by Ruger. This is a bolt action 3-shot magazine that holds one more in the chamber then. And with that, you are ready to go deer hunting. But in doing that type of thing, that allows anybody down here in lower Michigan, and of course you can use it in northern Michigan or the UP or any other place too, as a rifle. And as you're going to see in a little bit here, 300 yards is not out of the question at all with this caliber. Some very good groups. They're just extremely reliable. The bolts work terrifically, and they're fairly economical. They're in the $500 bracket. And we've got 2 models. We've got this 16-inch model, which has got a threaded end on it, and then our friends over at Magnaport makes this brake for it, and of course there's a little cap to cover the threads if you don't want to have the brake. But that's all it is to take the recoil from a 20 gauge, which is all it really kicks like, very, very low recoil, down to about shooting a 410 once you thread this brake on. So very easy gun to shoot, hardly any recoil, and as we'll show you later, very accurate.
Ruger started making these because of what you guys here at your shop requested? You just asked them to do it? Or?
I did. I've worked with Ruger on a lot of other one-of-a-kind guns like that, and yes, they weren't real thrilled about it. They didn't think the market was very large, and we found out that there's 1,000 to 1,500 guns that want to be sold this fall in this caliber. So it's gotten bigger than what I even thought it was, but they are making it at this point exclusively for us.
As fast as they can?
Not fast enough.
It was time to hit the range and see just what Ruger's new rifle can do. Thumb Sportsman's Club has a 300-yard range, which is too far for my camera to zoom in, so I set up a second camera downrange to focus on the targets up close. Randy would be shooting 2 rounds each at 100, 200, and 300 yards.
So what is it that, why do hunters love this gun so much?
Well, the big thing is, instead of having a shotgun, which if anybody's ever sighted in a shotgun, which we do for customers all the time, it's very finicky, and every lot of slugs you get shoot a little bit different than the lot before it, and every year they change slugs, so every load is a little bit different. It's faster, it's slower, it does groups like this. Some of them shoot really well. A rifle is just that, it's a rifle. Whether it's a 44 mag that you're using, it's a rifled barrel with a jacketed bullet that exactly does the same thing all the time. And this what this does. This rifle is inherently so accurate, and this caliber is so perfect for these shorter barreled rifles like this, that the accuracy, as you're going to see, is just phenomenal. Inch groups at 100 yards is something people dream about with a shotgun, and it's normal with these guns.
Randy was using a scope that has a dial and shoot reticle, so at 200 and 300 yards, he simply dialed it in for that yardage. He was using a 250 grain Hornady FTX cartridge. This bullet leaves the barrel at a speed of 2,280 feet per second. Out of this Ruger bolt-action rifle, sighted in at 100 yards, the bullet will drop 9 inches at 200 yards, and at 300 yards, drops 22 inches.
Okay, this is one of the better groups we've shot, but as you saw in the film, there was 100 yards, 2 shots, 200 yards, 2 shots, and then at 300 yards, we went a little over an inch, inch and a quarter, which really isn't all that typical, but here's a 2-inch by 2-inch square right there, and all the way from 0 to 300 yards. That's what this gun is capable of. With enough energy at 300 yards, it's still pushing right at 1,000 foot-pounds of energy at 300 yards. So more than enough for a whitetail.
It's always exciting to have new options for deer hunting here in southern Michigan, and the 450 Bushmaster in a bolt-action rifle looks like another fun option. Special thanks to Randy Brown for showing us what it can do.
Well, we as Michiganders are pretty fortunate. We have a lot of great conservation organizations here in the state that do a lot of good work. Well, just a week or so back, there is a new group forming. I was able to be a part of that event, and actually a little part of this organization. It's called Hunting Works for Michigan, and it's really aimed at letting folks know just what a great impact, a great economic impact our hunters have here in the state of Michigan.
Just a week or so back found me in Lansing at the Chamber of Commerce building for the official launch of a new group here in Michigan. Hunting Works for Michigan is a grassroots group in about 14 states now that is really all about letting folks know the economic impact that hunting and the shooting sports have in our state. Why is this important? Well, because here in Lansing, where a lot of decisions are made, it's important to not only have a voice that is just talking about the importance of our outdoor heritage, but showing folks hard numbers of just how important hunting is in our state. I was asked to be a part of this group and even say a few words at the event. Fortunately, there were folks much better suited than I to talk about why they wanted to be a part of this group.
I wanted to be part of Hunting Works for Michigan because it's so fundamental to my family and our area that without it, I can't even imagine our area without hunting.
We wanted to support this because Hunting Works for Michigan is an organization that's going to help protect the economic impact that hunting has. $3.9 billion a year is spent on activities that are related to hunting. And for folks in the gas station and convenience store business, that's huge. It helps drives business to our members throughout the state.
Because it's so important to get the message out. People don't realize, I mean, you see it, but you don't realize the real numbers that are behind the impact that hunting has on the state of Michigan. And I'm excited to share that with the folks that were here today and get the message out.
Here at the Michigan Chamber, we understand that hunting works for Michigan, that hunters pay for conservation, that hunting is an important part of our history, our tradition, our culture. I'm a hunter. And so is my son. It's been an important part of our family life, but also part of the message of this coalition is the positive economic impact that hunting has on individuals and businesses and communities across our state, from Detroit in southeast Michigan to Dowagiac in southwest Michigan, to Clare and Cadillac in northern Michigan, and our friends in the Upper Peninsula as well. And so it's important to spread the word about how hunting benefits all of Michigan, and we're just very proud at the State Chamber to be a part of that positive message.
To find out more about this group, you can check out their website. It's always great to see folks doing what they can to protect and preserve our outdoor way of life.
Thanks for joining us this week for Michigan Out of Doors. Make sure you check us out online next time you get a chance. You can do it a couple of different ways: on our website at MichiganOutofDoorsTV.com or on our Facebook page at Michigan Out of Doors TV. We're on Facebook every few days letting you know where we are and where we're headed next. And speaking of where we're headed next, we have a lot of great stories in store for you here on the show this fall.
Well, there is so much happening right now in the great state of Michigan if you are a sportsman, so make sure you are getting out and enjoying all that our great state has to offer right now. Of course, over the next few weeks, we're going to hopefully have some good bow hunting to show you. We've had lots of cameras in the woods, nothing to show yet, but that can change any day now. We're also going to have some small game hunting and some surf fishing, so lots happening here in the great state of Michigan. Thank you so much for joining us this week. If we don't see you in the woods or on the water, hopefully we'll see you right back here next week on your PBS station.
Michigan Out of Doors is presented by Rosie Brothers and Kubota. Located in Dryden, Michigan, Rosie Brothers has been serving Michigan for over 40 years. Specializing in outdoor needs, Rosie Brothers features Kubota tractors and equipment for use in farm, home, or commercial needs. On the web at rosiebrosinc.com. By Jay's Sporting Goods with locations in Clare and Gaylord. Jay's, serving the Michigan outdoor enthusiast since 1971 with a wide variety of outdoor products. The gear, the knowledge, the tradition of Jay's. On the web at jaysportinggoods.com. By the Michigan chapters of Safari Club International. For over 40 years, SCI has been protecting hunters' rights and promoting wildlife conservation here in Michigan and around the world. SCI chapter locations can be found on the web at firstformichigan.org. By Greenstone Farm Credit Services, making recreational land ownership possible across Michigan and northeast Wisconsin. Begin your land financing journey at one of Greenstone's 37 locations or visit greenstonefcs.com. Closed captioning is provided by Marvo Mineral, makers of Lucky Buck, deer management products including minerals to supplement deer diets year-round to improve health and antler growth.
When I wander far away, a dream stays with me night and day. It's the road that leads to my home state. I am a Michigan.